BASEketBall. Happy 20th anniversary to the best movie of all time. That's right, the best, my favorite of all time. It's directed by David Zucker, who directed the Airplane movies and the Naked Gun movies, and it stars Trey Parker and Matt Stone, and Academy Award winning, I think he won an Emmy, Ernest Borgnine. Here's what he said on Fox and Friends.
I masturbate a lot.
You got Robert Vaughn, and this was like his 100th movie. It's got all kinds of great actors in it, and all kinds of wonderful slapstick comedy that you coded these movies for. Now, this movie is about two guys who go to a reunion, and they challenge these two guys to a game of basketball, and they find out that these two guys are really good, so therefore they have to make up a new game on the spot. That way they won't lose, because they bet money on it. So they create a new game on the spot, and then it becomes viral, and everyone starts playing it, and then a billionaire hears about it, and he says, let's make this go national. So 5 years goes late, so it's 5 years later, and now they got their own basketball team. So to critique this movie, I have to critique it as what it is, as a movie that does not take itself serious at all. Everything is a joke in this movie. It's just from beginning to end, non-stop jokes. It's never serious, even when there's like a love interest. There's just a joke immediately after. Now, this movie stars Trey Parker and Matt Stone, the creators of South Park, my favorite TV show, and that works perfectly in this movie because their characters are two people who are best friends, and it totally shows on camera. One thing I noticed about this movie is that they only show the main three guys, Coop, Reamer, and Squeak, play basketball. They never showed the rest of the team. They're just sitting in the background. I always thought that was kind of weird. I would have liked to see them all take a role in this movie, at least some. I've seen this movie hundreds of times, and there's still moments in this movie that make me crack up. Yes, there's jokes here and there that just go beyond the realm of possibility, but that's what you should expect. I mean, it's just like the Airplane movies. You're not supposed to take your brain out and set it aside. Don't think about this movie too much. You got people shooting milk out of their nipples, and you got people with penises the size of jumping rope. It just doesn't make sense, but it's just supposed to be slapstick comedy. You got your main villain who's just like a money-hungry person who just wants to earn and own as many different basketball teams as he can and just make money and profit. And then you got this gold digger played by Jenna McCarthy, and she's actually got like a character arc. She's like a gold digger at the beginning, and then at the end, she decides that it's not about the money, it's about the game. I think the characters in this movie are actually well written for a cheesy movie. This movie had a $20 million budget, and a lot of it went to Al Michaels and Bob Costas. That's right, those two people are actually in this movie, and they have some pretty funny one-liners, and they're just fucking over the top. And I learned something interesting about Al Michaels too. Apparently he got real mad when he found out that Bob Costas got paid more than him. Here's what I heard happen. So they're on set, right? And Bob Costas is like, yeah, this movie's probably not gonna be that good, but at least it's a good payday. And Al Michaels is like, well, how much are they paying you? And he's like, $50,000. And he's like, what? I'm only getting paid $15,000. Yeah, for 1 day fucking work. I would do anything for $15,000 for just 1 day of work. I don't care how shitty the movie is. And it's not a shitty movie. They ended up giving this asshole $60,000, even though he was asking for $75,000. So that's my con with this movie, is that asshole is in this movie. So fuck you, Al Michaels. What's also interesting is that Trey Parker and Matt Stone did this movie because they just did their first season of South Park, and they didn't think that show was going to continue much longer because it was so controversial, and they didn't think that they were going to have another chance to be in a movie or make money, so they said, fuck it, let's just do anything. We'll be in any movie. And I also heard that they kind of played a role in some of the writing in this movie, even though there's like many other writers that are credited. They're not a credit in this movie, but I heard that they kind of inserted some stuff. So you can kind of tell where the South Park humor is and where the Airplane slapstick humor is. There's even like a South Park Cartman reference at the end, and it's just awesome when you hear it.
Grunsky, you losing weight?
And then there's even one scene in the locker room where Trey Parker, who plays half the cast in South Park, he even starts like slipping into his Mr. Garrison impression. You got the side character Squeak, and I think he's basically your Kenny. He's like Kenny because he's always getting hurt so like over the top, just getting thrown everywhere and blown up with firecrackers. So he's basically dying, but he's not dead. And I also heard that his character wasn't even going to be a character until Trey Parker and Matt Stone were involved with this project. It was just actually going to be about one main guy on the team. And in fact, they were thinking about hiring Chris Farley to play Cooper. But yes, I just love the hell out of this movie. The cheerleaders aren't even cheerleaders, they're freaking strippers. The relationship between Joe and Reamer in this movie starts to deteriorate because they're both fighting over a girl who runs this Dream Come True Foundation. There's this little kid who's like a big fan of Coop and BASEketBall, and he's dying of like a liver disease. And he just says, if you can win this tournament, I'll probably get through my treatment and not die because I'll be so happy and not so stressed out. And this child actor is just the worst. I don't think he did anything after this movie. Another interesting thing also to add is that this is an actual game that was created and made up by the director of this movie when he was young with his friends. They actually just fused the two sports they love together. But I feel like they don't really go in depth too much about the rules of this game that they make up. They kind of gloss over it in the first act before they actually get like their team and everything. They kind of just slip right by it real quick, and you just know that the base rules and stuff, but there's so many other questions you have, and I just feel like they don't answer them all. Another corny thing about this movie is like whenever they psych out a player, because that's what they're supposed to do when your opponent is trying to make a shot, you're supposed to distract them. Every time they distract a person, they succeed. The person's body has to convulse, and they just miss their shot by shaking their body because they're just so distracted. It's like, yeah, that's just over the top. You got this one joke at the end where Reamer and Coop, who make up, and they're no longer, fighting with each other. They decide to, just ignore the past, and they become friends again. And they just start making out because they make up. And that's supposed to be funny, obviously, because it makes no sense story-wise, because they've both been fighting over a female this whole movie. And now they're just making out, and then they're best buds again. And then 5 minutes after that, when they make out, they're both making out with chicks again. So it's like, what the hell's up with that? I don't really have too many bad things to say about this movie. I'd stick it in whenever I want to feel good, because this movie is just fun to watch. It's a blast. Constant jokes left and right, and it's just a fun time. So I would definitely recommend you go out and buy it. But to me, I'm giving this movie a new rating, because to me, this movie is a masterpiece. But not in the eyes of other people. You might disagree with me, but I don't care. This is my opinion. My channel, so fuck off. Have you seen BASEketBall? Let me know what you thought about this movie in the comments below. Make sure you check it out. It's on YouTube, I think. Hell, you can get it on Blu-ray now. They just released a Blu-ray within the last few years. There wasn't a Blu-ray before, but now there is. So definitely get it. It's worth a watch. And make sure to like and subscribe for more awesome content. I'm going to be releasing more videos soon. I'll be seeing the Meg. And I can't wait to see that. Unfortunately, it's PG-13 though, so how are you going to do a shark movie, PG-13? He's eating people. I don't know. I'll see how it is. But anyways, make sure to click on my sexy face in 5 seconds. And until next time, auf Wiedersehen.